What's up, guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Bobby and Taylor here at East Carolina Rides. Got ourselves a new episode, new week. Got mid-February blues. It's been a tough month. I actually haven't had too bad of a month so far, and I think it's because last month was so bad. It's like I wasn't trying to sandbag, but it's like everything finally kind of caught up.
Right.
Sometimes it just is like that, where you're working stuff and it doesn't come to fruition till the next month. Which you hope it hits where you get your bonus.
Right.
That's the key.
Yeah, definitely.
But still about halfway of the month left. What is it, the 17th? So it's Tuesday. We're gonna be hearing this on Friday. By Friday, we'll have like a week and a half left.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be getting down to crunch time. So,
Yeah.
You got anything working? Got anything going on?
Few small things, but we'll see when it comes together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it ain't over till the lines are signed.
Yeah, sure.
Well, look, I had a couple of things from last week because we aired, Friday. There was some news that happened, like literally that Tuesday, I think, or it might have been Wednesday, where they came out and they said they're no longer supporting legislation. They're not incentivizing legislation, or incentivizing the auto engine stop-start, basically.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to. The feature that nobody wanted in the first place.
I can't tell you how many times I get a customer that's just like, how do I turn this thing off? Almost every single one. Almost all of them.
I pretty much have sold myself on it. I think now, I don't know. Seeing it go away, it's like seeing a young child grow up and leave the house.
No, not for me. Not for me.
Yeah. It'll still be around. I'm sure some of the engineers have probably baked it in so far that it's it's hard to undo.
I'm pretty sure of anybody, I think Dodge might be one of the first ones to be like, all right, let's
I think so too.
cut this thing out.
I mean,
Honda might keep it, Toyota might, the companies like that, or
Right.
GM, even Chevy and Ford, because Ford's went down to 2.0 liter in their trucks.
Oh wow!
And y'all buying those things?
I mean, we can't really say much. We are doing a turbo, and we've gone to a turbo in our Grand Cherokee, but it's not a truck.
Exactly. That's
Truck.
I mean, you use a truck to pull things,
Right.
and haul things.
Yeah.
Like you don't use a truck to,
Now that's actually
some people do, I guess.
right.
But
I mean, they're going to use the truck as maybe just to ride around. People like trucks, maybe just to throw some garbage in the back of the bed or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But you make a point that I thought about this morning, and it's that we've gone so deep into saving that extra mile per gallon that turbos have become the norm.
the new one, yep.
And if the auto engine stop starts going away, are turbos going to start going away? If this kind of legislation sticks, and it may depend on who's in office.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too, I guess.
EPA
Yeah.
rules are they're flimsy.
In 2 years, it could be right back.
Yeah, they're a government agency at the end of the day. The manufacturers probably will put a pause on auto engine stop start and be like, EPA comes back and they're like, well, at least we still got the technology. Well, then they stick it back in there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. Usually bills like that stick around, especially if it's consumer supported. I mean, I
Yeah.
would think.
I mean, I know Greenville supports it. Most of the QA people
Right. Yeah.
that I work with, they support it. I probably had, I could probably count on my two hands all the people that were like, yeah, I kind of like this sort of stuff.
There was some people that said, yeah, this is cool. I like
But
that.
it was not enough.
Yeah, it was a rare thing.
Yeah, like, it was not enough to, care, one way or the other.
Well, it's so ingrained in our stuff that even our truck with the Hemi is considered a mild hybrid.
Yeah.
Because of the stop start.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tough to conceptualize how this is going to affect the market.
Yeah.
But some people still do want fuel economy. Maybe they don't know they want it, and by the time they get in their truck and they're only getting 21 instead of 23 miles per gallon, I don't know. The consensus, I think, is going to be ultimately get away from the stop-start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
People are willing to sacrifice that mile per gallon
Yeah.
of fuel economy.
Plenty of people.
Plus, this is the other thing I was thinking about, and this is like kind of just me randomly thinking this morning, shower thoughts with Bobby. So I was thinking
New
about
segment
this.
we're starting today.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, like
shower
everyone.
thoughts with Bobby.
Yeah.
So, we've gone so far into having all this technology. We've got so many things in our market now that have gotten so expensive, right? That's the biggest complaint that I hear from customers is why is everything so expensive? Well, everything really kind of comes to the technology. All this stuff, using aluminum, for instance, in trucks to lighten how heavy they are. All these things for that extra like quarter of a mile per gallon, efficiency has been kind of the key thing. But there was a podcast, or it was an interview really. Jay Leno did a interview with a company that is starting an electric truck called the Slate. This is what kind of got my brain thinking about it, is that the Slate, while it's not for me or probably a lot of people around here, because electric is just not in our market.
Right.
But it's a very simple truck. It's very simple. It doesn't even have a radio.
Yeah.
It's got roll-up windows.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it starts under 30 grand. So that's one of those things that in our market, that's kind of like a wake-up call, I think, to a lot of automakers, is that we have such expensive stuff that companies are starting up just to come in on a market that doesn't have affordable things for just the average person's income.
Yeah.
It used to be $30,000 was kind of in the middle, for folks. We had the Dodge Journey, we had the Jeep Patriot, the Jeep Compass. They were all entry-level transportation, not anything too fancy.
Get you back and forth.
Right.
Point A to point B.
But there was a collective, I guess, somewhere in the manufacturers where they all started saying to each other, hey, we're going to start building in a lot of technology, and we're going to start charging $10,000, $15,000 more than this $20,000 starting point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt like it was like a, like a conspiracy against the consumer to go up on prices.
Well, I don't know if I want to go into that. Let's just skip over it.
Yeah, that's the end of my
I have my
showers thoughts.
I have my thoughts on that, but
Yeah.
I just ain't going.
But companies do have to make money. Look, they have to stay in business. $20,000 doesn't leave a lot of room for margin, as far as profit margin. So
I think it was COVID. I think COVID did it.
Yeah.
I think during that era, they saw that people were willing to pay outrageous, outlandish prices for things because they had this scare with the toilet paper going out and all this
microchips.
Well, and microchips and all that. But I'm just saying, like, that was an example too.
Yeah.
But they had this scare, and people started paying $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000 over the value of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh my God, they're not making any more, and they didn't even need that vehicle. Like you didn't even need like whatever it was you wanted to go. Like you didn't need toilet paper.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
60 rolls.
Yeah. Like I know somebody who just started back buying toilet paper last year.
Oh my gosh.
That's how much toilet paper. I'm not gonna call their names.
Wow.
But yeah,
it doesn't go bad.
Yeah,
so
but they just started back buying toilet paper last year. 5 years later, you had enough toilet paper. You went and bought enough toilet paper to last you for 5 years. And paper towels.
Keeping the lumber business
Yeah, that is insane, dude. Like, that is insane. That is why we ran out of toilet paper, not because...
Right. It's the panic button was hit and everybody started freaking out.
And then the companies were like, oh, well, we can just charge crazy prices.
Yeah. They saw their shot.
Yeah.
And they took it.
Yeah.
They
found
said
a way.
possible to make some profit. Now, Chrysler Dodge Jeep has actually done what I think is the honorable thing. And in the last few years, they've taken their MSRP and they've dropped it. And they've done it pretty continuously where they've evened it back out as far as in our playing field.
Yeah.
So we had some trim levels of the Grand Cherokee that dropped like $5,000 compared to what they were MSRP.
Yeah.
And there was a certain point where it was like the rebates were so crazy that, it just made more sense to do that from a manufacturer standpoint, I'm sure. And I don't know. It's one of those things that I thought about this morning. Inexpensive doesn't necessarily have to mean low quality either.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And I'm just thinking.
If only they would do that with the trucks. Like, we would love for the trucks to come back down to about, a big one for 45.
Right.
$10,000 rebate, bring it down to 35.
And I think they're going to be helping out the market a little bit with the Dakota coming. I've read a little bit about that. Our new CEO has basically said that it's not going to be a grocery getter. This is going to be a real pickup. It's not going to be something that people can't use as a truck. It's going to be able to tow. They will offer probably a turbo version of it, but with the class vehicle that it's going to be, which is a mid-sized truck, that kind of makes sense. But they will have a naturally aspirated version too, which
I wonder if they'll come out with like a Hemi unit or something like that. It'd just be like a 3.0 inline.
There's no telling, with how Dodge does stuff with performance, But I think it's going to be more about capability rather than overkill with something like that, because the price point's going to be, I think, starting around the $40,000 range, which for a pickup truck in our market, in the Ram line, it's been a long time coming. And I may go back to a mid-sized truck. I've had a
I'm sitting here thinking about it too.
Yeah. So
I don't need nothing crazy.
Yeah. I might tow a small boat or use a utility trailer. Like, my days of pulling my camper are over. I lived that life.
Yeah.
I ain't ever getting a camper again. Oh my gosh, you talking about some headaches?
Yeah.
And I had fun with it. I'm not gonna say I didn't have fun pulling a camper. And you can still pull a camper with a small truck.
Right.
You don't have to go fifth wheel, big rig type of camper that you got to fit a family of 5 in.
Right.
But anyways, I'm definitely like starting to lean more towards that for my use, but I also really do love the Ram.
Oh, yeah. It just depends on what this Dakota's going to look like. I know they come out with the Jeep Gladiator, and that was supposed to be their answer to the mid-size truck segment, but then nobody looked at it as a mid-size truck. They looked at it as a Jeep with a truck bed.
Right.
And which it's not. Like, it is a
Yeah, it's very capable.
Yeah, like, great truck.
Able to tow over 7,000 pounds. I mean, it had all the qualities of a truck.
The consumer's perspective is what matters.
Yeah. They saw a Jeep with a bed.
That's all they saw.
Yeah.
That was it. And it's like, it does well. I think it does really good. But I just think it's...
it was divisive. When it came out, I saw a lot of people that were like, I'm a truck guy, I'm a Jeep guy. And I'm not both.
Yeah.
And he had to really find that niche for somebody to really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I did have some Jeepers that were like, I need this because it can tow, and they can still go on the beach and stuff like that. So that's a segment. I'm curious too whether they're going to keep the Gladiator around when the Dakota comes.
Well, the base model Gladiator got no love. Who looked at that thing and was like, absolutely not. And I would be like, well, you can do deck it out. Like, you can put the wheels on it and the tires and level it, lift it up and all that, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't interested now.
I tell people all the time when I'm out there showing Jeeps, I'm like, you got a choice. You can buy it, prep to go. Nothing you're going to do to the Jeep other than add some ducts.
Yeah.
Or you can get a canvas to paint on, and make it your own.
Yeah.
And that was the beauty of the sport model for so long, is that, if you could deal with steel wheels, for a little while till you got your upgraded rims.
Right.
That was a way better option to go. You save like 15, 20 grand sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially versus the Rubicon.
Right.
And we got Rubicon X's out there that are like 70 grand. And that the main thing, the buying point in that is it's got a lift, it's got a wheel package already on there, 35s.
What about the Moab? That one's what, 85, 84?
Yeah. Now that is a bad Jeep right there. I love that Moab. And because the Rubicon Expo with a V8 basically,
Yeah.
and it's $20,000 cheaper than what it used to be.
Yeah.
The Rubicon 392 was $100,000
Yeah.
Jeep,
Yeah.
which is pretty crazy, especially considering it's not a Hellcat.
Right.
You know, it was the 6.4. It's a 6.4 liter. So all around, I don't know. I with the new leadership in Stellantis, I see the sun rising in the horizon. You know what I mean? Like we're finally starting to see the changes that not just consumers were asking for, we were asking for
Yeah.
as salespeople.
Yeah. I mean, I remember having conversations with customers and just looking at them like, why don't we come out with a Dakota?
Whether we come up with a what?
Dakota. Like,
Yeah.
why can't we bring the Dakota back?
Right.
And
It was a good truck that's popular. Basically, the EPA is the reason that truck shut down in the first place back in 2012.
Yeah.
And but it's kind of a
Maybe
full
they'll come
circle
back out with the smelling in it.
Oh yeah, with the Magnum, something like that.
4.7.
Yeah. It was not technically a Hemi, I guess.
Oh yeah,
because of the
it was just a
design.
V8.
Yeah,
it was just a
because the
V8.
Hemi is the hemispherical combustion chamber, so
Yeah.
it was basically a matter of technicalities. Almost everything now has a hemispherical combustion chamber, just because that's more efficient. But it's kind of a patented thing, and mine has the 4.7. It's an old truck. It is not efficient at all.
No.
No, I maybe get 14 miles to the gallon
Wow.
at the best,
Rare.
like on the highway.
Wow.
So thankfully, I have a short commute, and I got a little gas up per car in case I need to go somewhere far. And my girlfriend drives a car, so cars, for better or worse, have kind of gone away from that. Or we don't even sell a car that's efficient.
Nothing.
We get the Dodge Charger, which is
Not
a sports car, really.
Yeah.
It's tough to call it a muscle car around customers sometimes, but it is still
They
a
don't
muscle
like
car.
it. Yeah, they do not like it. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
That's not muscle.
Yeah. Once they get behind the wheel, though, they might change their mind. But it's potent. You're not sold on it. I can see you're
No,
not.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. I think,
But trying to
It's right,
convince
so-
somebody, I see what
I mean, it's hard to convince someone. Like, it's hard to, it's
Yeah.
one of those things I think either somebody's going to love it or hate it.
Yeah.
And look, a test drive can change your mind.
Right.
A test drive can change your mind.
Yep.
If it changed mine. When they come out with that new body style Ram, and not this year, but 2019,
Oh yeah.
was it 2018 or 2019?
2019. Yeah.
so,
the DT body.
yeah, and when they come out with that new body style, when I first saw it, I was like, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's just not it.
Yeah.
And I finally jumped in one and drove it. And I just drove it because I was working in Washington at the time, and I drove it probably 2 or 3 miles down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back, I was like,
Yeah.
that actually looks nicer than I thought it did.
The ride quality was improved greatly,
Yeah.
like big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I wasn't sold on it either. That was the same year where I had a decision between getting the new DT, getting the Jeep Gladiator, or buying a pre-owned DS, the previous body style Ram.
Yeah.
And I bought the DS because it was what I was familiar with. It's what I knew. I didn't want to be an early adopter, but in hindsight, I should have bought the DT. I would have kept my truck. I ended up trading in that DS, which was a nice truck. The previous body style was super nice,
yeah.
but they did a lot when they re-engineered those Rams, and a lot of that technology has stayed around.
Yeah.
It's amazing what the engineers can think of to take away complaints that people maybe didn't even know they had.
Right.
I can feel the engine in the pedal. Like I can feel the vibration of the engine, and they took a lot of that away.
Yeah.
It was like the little subtleties that when you go in to look at that price point, that's something you got to kind of keep in mind. I know we were talking about things being expensive earlier, but you got to think part of that price point is research and development. They spend a lot of money coming up with a product that people are going to love.
Yeah.
And so, that's part of our job is to basically exceed the price with value. We have to overcome that quite a bit in sales, and new guys, maybe don't know enough sometimes about the product, but sometimes not knowing enough is just fine.
Just as beneficial.
Yeah, because you can
say too much.
Yeah, you could talk yourself right out of a deal.
I've seen it so many times. So many times.
Yeah, we had a salesman not too long ago. I was thinking, man, he's a super nice guy, but daggone, he talks a lot.
He knows too much.
He does.
Yeah.
What you know too much, especially if you know about mechanical things, I don't know.
A mechanic is the worst salesman, dude. They are the worst salesman.
Yeah, it's like,
just go turn a wrench. And I don't mean that disrespectful.
No,
I'm just saying.
It's two different styles of thinking,
Yeah.
And if you get too deep into that stuff, you're not going to think about the basics, the hot buttons, the things that matter to a consumer. You're too worried about how much horsepower and how many rotations the tires turning every time. You're just thinking about these technical aspects that a customer
don't think about.
95% of the time don't care about.
Yeah.
They don't even care.
Yeah.
I barely nowadays even pop the hood. I know that's like kind of a
One of our
sacrilege,
things,
the 5-point walk around.
I mean, it's almost point. Like you open it up and then it's just a bunch of plastic covering up the engine. Like you can't even see on some of them.
Now, if somebody's super oriented on
Yeah.
engine, I'm gonna pop the hood.
Yeah. But most people don't care.
No,
They just don't care what's under the hood. They kind of understand, like,
Yeah, but there's some stuff under there working,
Yeah.
and a lot of it's covered with plastic nowadays.
Yeah.
But that's
As a
getting down
consumer, though, you should probably look up under the hood.
no doubt. It's probably a point, especially on a pre-owned vehicle.
Yeah, you should probably look up under the hood.
You wanna look.
Like, I'm an advocate for, hey, can we see up under the hood? Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. Let's go ahead and nip it in the bud. Yeah. This battery's got a little corrosion.
Don't wait until you get to the house.
Yeah. I mean, look. Sometimes stuff is older, is pre-owned. There's going to be some issues. You might even see some rust. Surface rust.
Yeah.
And that's actually normal.
That's normal. But
so-
you might see like where a bird nested in the position. You know what I mean? Like then you crank it up to go home or something.
Right.
And, like that gets sucked up or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why I said
want to
pay
be-
attention.
Exactly. You don't want them leaving and they not know something that maybe got missed.
So maybe we should start opening up the hood as well, just to kind of like make sure.
Yeah, yeah. We do have a couple trees around here.
Yeah.
So you never know. In springtime, we have like massive amounts of little tiny birds jumping around and bunny rabbits and cats. There's so many cats in Greenville. It's crazy. Thankfully, it's not so bad here because we're kind of.
We'll get them every now
residences.
and then.
Yeah.
Every once in a blue moon, we'll get them.
But we've gone way off the rails on what we were talking about.
That's trees and birds.
But look under your hood. That's the main point.
This is the benefit of not having like an outline.
We've gone like way into the stratosphere as far as what this podcast was about. But ultimately, it's about. I think from week to week, this podcast has been fun because we can talk about things that are in the car business, things that we're dealing with in the industry, news that's relevant to what's happening now, and we occasionally will get a guest in here, and that's going to be, I think, what I'm going to strive for in the next episode. Try to see if we can't get a guest in here, because it's been a little over a month and a half. We were planning to do like one a month,
Yeah, it's been a while.
but we had a little bit of break.
We've had 2 managers in here. We got to get the third one.
Oh yeah, you think so?
I think so. I think we need to get the third one in here.
Yeah,
And pick his brain a little bit.
yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Then we'll start a lottery or something, or the competition we were talking about last week. Try to figure out who's going to be after the managers, who's going to be the first lucky
Sales
fellow or lady.
Put their names in a hat.
Yeah. because we've had some requests, and I want to thank everybody that has been watching this and continues to support us, because it means a lot. You know, when we see the view counter, I mean, I don't really care so much that it's a high number. I just want that whoever's watching this, if you like, share, you know, follow us or subscribe, you know, those sorts of things mean a lot. It shows that we've got engagement, that we're not just sitting here talking to a camera, talking to each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, let us know what you think too. I mean, if our ramblings and going off on a tangent is not something you want to see, you know, we can be dynamic.
Yeah, we can try to switch it up.
Yeah.
You know. My wife was asking last night if, because I think he texted me and was like, "Hey, I kind of forgot, you know, whatever."
Oh yeah.
And, I was like, "Well, you know, this and that," and I'm like, "Nah, but I want to do it." And then I got off the phone, like, stopped texting with you, and we were going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, I need to switch my alarm and move it up to 6:30."
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "I thought you told him you weren't coming in." And I said, "Well, I kind of have fun doing it."
Yes, I like it. I mean, it's fun for me too. I appreciate you, you know, putting in the dedication, because it's not easy. Look, we already work long hours. You know, coming in that extra hour early to do this takes a little bit of extra effort. So,
but there's sometimes on the way to work, I'm just sitting there like, "God, why do I do it like this? This is horrible." And
It's the vibe going.
Yeah. And then I get to work and I'm like, we start and we just start going, and it's like, this is pretty good.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun, and we'll continue to keep this up as long as we can keep waking up on Tuesday mornings.
Yeah.
And of course, y'all let us know what you want to see next week, and if we got requests, look, we'll throw some stuff in here. But in the meantime, appreciate y'all watching. Thanks again to East Carolina Rides. Y'all have a good week.
Have a good week.